In this video, I want to talk about two things that have helped our business tremendously. And I'm going to focus on IBC Global, which provides high cash value life insurance policies, what has helped our business grow. To break it down into two items, it's been the actual policy and then also customer service. Those are the two things. Now, in respect to the actual life insurance policy, that we talk about all the time, and it boils down really to the cash value because it's people's money you are dealing with. We always talk about policy design, how to minimize expenses, optimize cash value. It's people's money, they pay attention to their money. So in the early years, we had a ton of success with engineers and people that really focused on the cash value, and we still do because they look at it and say, hey, I look at your content and I see the same policy with the same company and I've got a lot more value. That's what I'm interested in. And that's pretty straightforward. Those are people that are focused on the numbers, like myself, have always been very analytical in that respect. But then we've got the customer service, and this is really meant for people in the business, or if you're considering opening a policy with us, this speaks to things you will get when you work with us. Hopefully you will get, depending on who you talk to, but we train on these things on a regular basis, is as follows. When it comes to customer service, if you are in business, these things are critical. Number one is pretty straightforward, but it means being honest and upfront. Now, I want to be clear here when I say honest and upfront. We can blend in the second point, transparent. Being honest about how things work and also upfront. Let's say honest and transparent. I'll give you a prime example. So many people, when it comes to cash value life insurance, will look at a dividend rate and claim this is what you're earning on a policy. Or they'll make the claim that, hey, you're earning a 6% dividend. You're earning 6%, and when you take a policy loan, it's a 5% cost to borrow. You've got a 1% spread, and policy loans are great, so easy to take. You get the constant compounding, and that's very attractive. 6% dividend, 5% loan rate, yeah, sign me up. But then at the same time, is that honest and transparent? Well, yes, it's being honest. You could say that I have a 6% dividend and a loan rate of 5%, but at the same time, if you tell someone that, and really don't break down the numbers, you're not being that transparent or upfront. Here's what I mean, is when you look at an actual life insurance policy, a dividend rate is always what? I say this frequently, a gross rate that is credited after the insurance expenses, where you might see a net internal rate of return, just the net growth, of 4.5%. Now, still fantastic, effective tax-free yield, which, hey, sign me up with no risk. But if you have a 4.5% cost to borrow, a 4.5% net IRR in your policy, net growth rate, and you're borrowing at 5%, do you still have that positive 1% spread that you thought existed on a whole life insurance policy? No. Now you've got a negative 0.5% spread. Makes sense to borrow elsewhere. And especially this is the case if the net IRR is less than 4.5%. So my point is, be honest about it up front, be transparent up front. And you could say I was honest, like I said what the dividend rate was. But if you are a consumer and you don't know the business in and out, there's a big, big difference. A consumer sees the term dividend and common sense would tell them that's what I'm earning on my policy. Where in reality, it's not what I'm earning on my policy. So I want the net numbers, and then I feel like the agent I'm talking to or the company I'm talking to is being honest with me. They're being transparent. They're not hiding something that's kind of a gray area to say, well, I did tell you this, but yeah, you have to dig in more to find out is actually this. No, be transparent, be upfront with that stuff. It's like when I go buy a service from some company and they say, hey, it's going to cost $1,000 per month. Then I get the bill and it's $1,300 per month. And they say, well, there's these additional service charges in here. I'm like, you didn't tell me that. You got to be upfront. If they would have told me that, then there's no potential issue. So honesty and transparency, so important when you're in business. The next one is the most important thing, especially if I'm working with someone. And I talk about I've mentioned this in past videos. The attorney that I've hired and that we refer a ton of business to, got no financial incentive or relationship with her group, Elizabeth Morgan. She knows her stuff, but she cares. And I've expressed that when I've talked to her, to others. It's apparent. If you ever see her talk on a podcast or if you've got to speak with her, you know she cares, she listens to people. Like that is so, so important. So if you are in business for yourself, you're speaking with others, make sure you care about them. Show them that you care and try and recall this. This point will help you a lot if you struggle in this because you view it as, hey, I'm in business to make money in a sense, to grow. But you have to care for your clients. If you have a focus on making money, your focus can be diluted from the customer if you're trying to sell what works best for you to make the most money, not what sells or not what is in the best interest of the client. People will sense that. If you sell what the customer wants, truly what's in their best interest, the money will come. Yes, you may make less initially. That's our whole business model. We design policies that are designed for minimum compensation. And the reason why isn't to say we design policies for minimum compensation. The reason why is when you look at the actual data, the real numbers, guaranteed values, historical data, like those minimum commission policies have delivered the greatest consumer value, cash values, and long-term death benefits. It's like, why would I not do that? Because if I don't do it, then I got to worry about them coming back to me saying, hey, you showed me option B, but I just saw option A from someone else. They got more money than you. Or I would have had more money than what you showed me. So like, why would I do that? If that makes sense. Point is, if you care, you're not going to do that kind of stuff. They're not going to have to do some big song and dance afterwards to justify why you did it. Like that happens all the time. So do you care? That's the most important thing in my opinion. So getting away from the data and the numbers and really getting into the emotional side. And then the big one, we'll close with this, not negative. And I've always been big on no negativity. It drives me off the wall. I try not to do it. And it's really from how I was raised and just from principles. You've got the saying, turn the other cheek. And that goes such a long way. When it comes to negativity, I'll share something with you. A number of agents at our company have expressed to me something that I've gone through a number of times. But recently, a lot of people have elected to work with us, with our company, and they had been speaking with other competitors. And the competitors, when the potential client brought up the fact that, hey, I'm speaking with IBC Global, immediately went on the offense and started attacking us. I don't know why, like people always do that in business. But my point here is these clients heard that and they said, all right, thanks for letting me know that. They left those other agents. They didn't start a policy with them. They said, I'm not working with someone like that. That is unprofessional in my opinion. So do not be negative, as it can do a couple things for you. One, it'll hurt you. It'll make you more just negative, down all the time. It's not worth it just from an emotional standpoint. That's my opinion. And then secondly, you lose business. Like it's not going to hurt. You might win a couple by scaring people away from working with someone else. But think of it this way. If you talk to Joe and then Joe says just a bunch of negative things about me, hey, don't work with Steve. He's horrible. He's done all of this stuff, that man, shady stuff going on over there. But then you talk to Steve, me, and you say, all right, like, I got to know you. You're not like that at all. What are you going to think? You know Steve. Same thing. If I talk to you, then I talk to Joe, and Joe badmouths you all day long. But then I'm like, no, I know that person. They're not like that at all. Joe, have you ever spoke with that person? No, but I heard some things. It's like, hey, don't be negative. That's just going to compound south. We want to compound north, right? Compound interest, not compound depreciation. We call that negativity. Anyway, two main things. Policy, this has helped our business, policy design, really, and the top quality companies. And then customer service. And I use the word customer service because I couldn't think of anything better to put there. I'm just going to call it communication, engaging with other people, do things right. Just treat others as you would want to be treated, right? The golden rule. If you do that, you'll do perfectly fine. In any event, I do hope that this video provided some value. If it did, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, and we will talk to you in the next video. I hope this helps. Hey guys, Steve Parisi here. If you enjoyed the content you just saw, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for future videos. If you'd like more information or to see some custom policies for yourself, feel free to call or email our offices at the contact information below.